Hello, KMMA friends and tribe, and anyone else watching this video. I decided this morning to ride in. It's just far too beautiful to be in a cage. And, on the ride in this morning, I was meditating on a few things I wanted to share with you. And really, those have been going on since the ride yesterday, because every Sunday is pretty much when I ride and rest and recharge and relax, get some alone time with God on beautiful country roads. So really, that's the first lesson I want to share today is enjoying the ride, right? Like those that ride understand what I'm about to say, which is that like my ride in this morning was not the most direct, most quick, most efficient route. Because whereas when I'm in my car coming to work, that's the primary decider. Anytime I'm on my bike, it's not about getting to the destination in an efficient, economical, or fast way. It's about the ride, the journey itself. It's not about the destination, but it's about the journey. And people that ride, if they do it correctly, if they experience what I'm talking about, right? There's that own Harley saying used to say, "If I have to explain, you wouldn't understand." Well, this is me trying to explain. It's about the ride. It's about making sure you find the most beautiful, most windy, most uh, country roads on the way, and it doesn't matter how fast you get there. In fact, my rides on Sunday make no sense. They just take me far and wide through beautiful roads. And like all things, that can be taken as an analogy for life, just like I do with martial arts most of the time, right? Like sometimes it's about getting to the destination as fast and efficiently as possible. And sometimes we need to slow down and enjoy the ride. And being able to identify each and balance each is probably an important part of the message as well. But then I also want to go into the rant portion. So while I was on my ride yesterday, there was three things I want to bring up, and I mean them a little tongue in cheek, but maybe to also lend themselves towards the final lesson in this lesson. Because the second, the thing that I observed yesterday on my ride is that I'm having to ride further and further and get more and more creative to find those beautiful country roads I'm talking about, right? Don't get me wrong, we got some of them right here in our backyard, like the loose lake fern curvy part is beautiful. We got some stuff right here too. But as I go out north, I noticed that even parts that were my favorite country riding places now have a lot of development going on. Now, by the way, I'm not an anti-growth, anti-development person, and clearly there's good reason that lots of people are coming to Florida, and we need to create more and more places for them. Now, and all the growth and all the development and all the things. Look, I don't profess to be an expert on that, nor is that part of this commentary. But I'm just saying it is harder and harder to find the nice country riding roads. This next one actually is more relevant, probably. The next two. One is that it has gotten to a point where I'm actually grateful when I am around or behind people who are not also on their devices. So listen, I mean any assault to anybody who does it, but I would recommend that you didn't, right? Like there's, anybody who's important enough to have their nose in their phone while they're driving has a driver. Sorry, I didn't mean that offensively if I've just offended, but it's true, right? Like there's a time to use the smart devices, and it's not while we're operating a motor vehicle, nor even at the red light, right? Because I'm also very, very grateful when I'm 2 or 3 cars back and we actually make the green light. I'm like, wow, that means nobody had their nose stuck in their phone. Because normally you don't get going right away anymore because somebody is on Facebook or Instagram or whatever they look at, or texting, or watching video. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something other than driving. So that's rant number one. But I'm spinning it in a positive by saying grateful for all the people that don't do that. Rant number two is this: as I look at all the growth and development, there's lots of good things, and of course business and commerce is important because it's how we provide service to one another. This alarms me a little bit that when I look at the growth in so many places, the businesses that seem to be growing the fastest are cannabis places and storage facilities. And I wonder what that says about the direction, what's going on right now. not going to really go that far into it right now, but it says some things. And then, that's all I want to say about that. But what I do want to say is that here's the lesson from all those things, from the development, from the increase in demand for cannabis products, and from because look, I will say this real quickly, either more and more people need medicinal something or another, or there's just recreational use of it, and it's just a way around the legalization of it. Whatever the case, it's I don't think it's making our society better, stronger, faster than it was before. But that, and the people that choose to read, look at their phones while they're driving, and any of the rest is all outside of my circle of control, except for where it's not. Right? So what I do, and what we need to do always, is the things that happen are only somewhat relevant. The things that are going on around us are only somewhat relevant. The things that disturb us are almost irrelevant. What is relevant is, what can I do positively to improve my life and the lives of others, to move in a positive direction? And I believe there are these things. Number one, I am now here in my place of work. I purposely left my riding shirt on, though. My wife's bringing me a Tommy Bahama to change to here in a little bit. But I left my riding shirt on purpose, because this is about the ride. This message is about the ride and enjoying it. And that's one of the things we can control. It's making sure that we give ourselves, whatever it is for you, right? Because it's not necessarily riding. But whatever's your mental escape is a positive thing to do. And unless it's riding, when you're not driving. If it happens to be device, if a video game or something else is how you relax, then don't do it while you're driving. But then the next thing is that we can't directly control things that bother us, that when things aren't going in our society or whatever, right? Like, because look, everybody has different opinions on all different sides of this, and the important thing is this: you want to make a difference, right? Like here's how we do make a difference. Like, I get the blessing and opportunity here at Grandmaster Martial Arts to instill in people what I consider to be the positive attributes, right? Things like the Black Belt superpowers that I write about in the book, right? Focus and respect and discipline and confidence and gratitude and vision. Things like drive and work ethic, and things like perseverance and stick-to-itiveness and grit, and things like all the great things that we do here, and helping people to decide what is important to them and make their own choices, but not to be driven by the noise of rather it's from a commercialism in an industry that's trying to direct you one way, or rather it's from the political climate right now and people trying to sway you one way, or rather whatever it is. You have to really think through the issues for yourself, of course, and we have to teach our kids to do the same and to make rational decisions that are not based on propaganda from either side. And through all of it, we have to remember to enjoy the ride. Now, I'll be honest, that one's one of the challenging ones for me sometimes, right? Because I'm driven. I got a mission I'm working towards. I got things I want to accomplish, and my whole life has been that way. So I have to remind myself that sometimes you need to slow down and enjoy the ride. And for me, the ride is actually the ride. Again, remember that I'm also using it allegorically for anybody who has something else that they use. Do those things. Make this a magic Monday. Be excited to get back to the thing that it is that you do. And make this a magical week. Prepare to live in power to lead. Hope to see you at Grandmaster Martial Arts or elsewhere soon along the ride.